Hi everyone, good evening. Now, today's topic is around storytelling, and it's very interesting how leadership can be connected to storytelling, right? Most leaders have been using this storytelling technique already in forms of sharing their failures or in forms of sharing their childhood stories of how they had overcome certain obstacles or difficulties. And sometimes, when we are as a sales managers or sales lead, we can share stories of how we did client acquisition, how did we close the client deal, bring in client stories. That's also storytelling. And why is it so important to have that as a tool? Storytelling really helps us connect to the people faster. It's always a better version than presentations or PPTs or pie graphs or just emails. In fact, it's a good idea to use storytelling to inspire people, connect with them, and use storytelling to be able to get them to see what your life looks like. In fact, if you remember, I spoke about transparency and vulnerability. Storytelling is one way of being able to bridge that gap of a manager or a boss versus team member. It helps them see that you're a human being too. You've gone through your own set of failures, or you've had your own stories. It necessarily sometimes does not have to be your own. A lot of leaders say that, Sandhya, I don't want to be vulnerable and I don't want to share my story. You can always craft it in a story in a different format. There could be some rule breaking that a company had done, and there could be some compliance that was broken, compliance guidelines that was not followed. You could bring in those stories saying this is how the company got impacted. We could bring in stories from business standards, from HBR, Forbes. There are so many stories that we have, and we could share that with our team members. When you share that, not only do you share the learning, but you also share the story in a format which makes it relatable. So storytelling is an art, yes, I agree, but storytelling could also be somebody else's story that you are sharing by bringing in the learning and lessons, and it has to be interactive, discussion based. So storytelling is not like you share a story and then you're not even discussing with them. When you share a story with the team members or your peers or colleagues, check with them. What do you think you learned from the story? Do you think you relate this? And then see what are the different insight and perspectives the team members come up with. Yeah. So storytelling is also one tool leaders today should have, because we're dealing with different generations and different age groups. It's a good idea to have stories to be able to connect through all different timelines, and it's easy to get them to see how certain people function at that